Hi everyone, it's Dr. Adam Alexander at Inline Family Chiropractic, and we have Shannon here with us today, and she's our patient of the week because you've had quite a few years since you've been coming in here, and we'll get into some detail about that. But yeah, you've been doing really awesome the last little while, but you've also been doing a lot of hard work and putting your work and effort into it too, right? So. As I was just saying off camera, is that I have a pretty vivid memory of when you first came in here.
Yes.
And you were going through a pretty tough time, just a lot of really bad migraines.
Yes.
That basically took you right down and out. You weren't really able to do anything, right?
No, they were debilitating.
Yeah, and as I said, is my image of you when you first came in here was you were sitting here like this, and you could hardly even listen to what we had to talk about, right?
I wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll have you just kind of explain as to what things were like back then. I mean, because that's going back 3 years ago now, so you've been working hard at it for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And things are paying off, right?
So come an amazingly long way.
Yeah. So I'll turn it over to you, and you can kind of explain to everybody as to what you've gone through.
Well, again, I'm Shannon, and so before I started coming to the chiropractor, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, I was not working. I was in bed most of my days. Lots of pain, back pain, migraines, fibromyalgia. So some people who have that know and realize that can cause a lot of aches and things all over your body. It makes it very hard to do anything. I did show up here with my hands in my head the first day I got here. I had the worst migraine and was told to still come anyway. And so I did, and I sat with my hands in my head like this and just ringing and everything. I sat for the whole presentation, and I did listen. I just wasn't paying attention as I should have been. And Dr. Adam ended up taking me back into a room. They talked to me for a few minutes, and he gave me an adjustment. And in 5 minutes, my migraine was like going away, to the point where I hadn't barely even walked out the door. And that kind of sold me. I went, okay, well, obviously they have something here. I need to listen and pay more attention. I came back. I got all of my x-rays and things done. They worked with me with all the things that were wrong with me. It didn't matter what was going on with me health-wise. They were here to help me. I started with coming 3 times a week. I did that for, I think, over a year. Then I was able to go to 2 times a week and eventually down to 1 time a week. I kept up with all of my track and everything. And there was times when it was really hard because it's not something that happens just overnight where all of a sudden like one adjustment and everything's better. No, you have to work at it, and you have to be committed to want to get better and be healthier. And in doing that, now I work full time. I have no migraines. I barely even have a headache. And if a headache even feels like it's coming on, I'm like, oh, I better go to the chiropractor. Like, there's no Tylenol, nothing. And my track exercises have done an amazing improvement for me. Keeping up with that is really what's the most important, because the adjustments and everything are very important, but you also have to put the work in. And in doing that, I sit straighter. I have way more energy. I love my yoga, and even that has become easier. Like, there's so many things that when you put them all together, they benefit over the long period of time. And again, 4 years ago, I was not working. I was technically disabled. I didn't even think I could get up in the morning to do my menial tasks, and now I can't stop doing anything.
And it seems like you keep coming in and you're like, oh, I overdid it again.
And I work really hard to keep up with it, but it saved my life. I have to say that. And I always say that to people, and they're always kind of like, oh, okay. But I really mean that. Like, I have my dream job now. I do so many things with my kids. We go on trips. Last year I actually went on a portage canoe trip through Algonquin for 3 days and did like thousands of kilometers and walking and paddling, and I'd never felt better in my life. And I came to the chiropractor after, went before. So to me, it's been an amazing experience, and I'm going me to keep doing it
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, so I'm going to touch on a couple things that you mentioned. So lastly, what you said was that you feel like it saved your life, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people will have no idea what you mean by that.
Yeah.
But that is something that we have heard, especially quite a few times recently, actually, and for different reasons, right? But and that's a big thing as to why we do these videos and get your side of the story, right? Because your words are worth a lot more than what I can say or describe.
It's just hard too, because even me I've gotten people to come here, and I try and push your chiropractic work for people, because you guys do a very special type of chiropractic work,
Mhm.
which is so hands-on, and so it's very personal. So it doesn't feel like you're going into a doctor's office and you're just another number and you're sitting there waiting. Like, it is very STEM to each one and each person, and it's, I don't know, I find that makes it a lot more beneficial, because there are some people that have told me, oh, I've been to a chiropractor,
Yeah.
and they don't even know my name, and I just go in and they do this and they leave, and I have to say, well, mine's not like that, and you need to go and get checked out, because I feel that that's a big aspect around here that really made me want to come back, because there are some people or some places you can go and it doesn't feel very personal. It doesn't feel like they actually care about your health. It's more just, we want to do this.
Well, that's the great thing about, that's a big reason why I came back to work in town that I grew up in, because everybody seems to know everybody, and you're able to make those connections, and to be able to have an impact on people's life like that is a pretty cool thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to touch on that you said is like you've put a lot of work into it, right?
Oh, yeah.
We both have.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, and the more people understand that, the better, right?
Yes.
Because you end up getting out of it what you put into it, right? You
Yes.
put a lot of work into it over the years,
Oh, yeah.
and it's paid off.
Yes, very much
right?
so.
Another thing I wanted to touch on too is, yeah, you felt great after the first adjustment. That doesn't always happen for everybody.
Doesn't always
right?
happen. No, I was amazed, to be honest with you.
It is always an ongoing thing, just like anything else, like whether you're eating healthy or exercising, trying to lose weight, anything like that. It doesn't happen just like that. It is a continuous thing.
And I mean,
that
that's
you
something
keep
too.
working on.
I've actually lost weight. So that, I mean, you
Because
you
you're
get
able
more
to do more
energy, you're
things,
more
right?
active.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do more things. So that's been a thing too. I've actually lost weight. And I didn't realize I did until I was weighed a little bit ago. She's like, oh, do you realize you lost weight? I was like, no, I had no idea. But yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So it does all everything together is the big factor on how it helps you get better. So.
Yeah. No, but yeah, thanks for taking the time to do this,
Yeah.
and hopefully other people are able to see it, and that it resonates with them, and they're able to do something with their life too, right? So
Yes.
yeah, no, excited to see how the rest of this year and continue on goes.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.